Voltei. Então, é o mesmo dia do outro, mas fazer o que, né? Tive que parar pra almoçar, né? Pelo amor de Deus. Ninguém...
Maybe it was the cold. But after a few steps, Renado's optimism started to slump. What if Calaveras couldn't help? Did Renado dare use the Sky Ripper? Oh, he hated that he had chosen this path. It was so much simpler to rescue friends and attack enemies, even if some of those friends were more trouble than his enemies. Some of those enemies had been friends before and might be lovers after. No, okay, it wasn't all that much simpler, no. Physics made his brain hurt. That, at least, he was sure of. If I craft a sword now, it's going to be really short.
Gastei energia pra nada, gastei. Foda-se.
Hoped his hook didn't break.
No. Mano. Ela vende. Toma. Chega mais perto. Oh! Caralho. Ok. Como é que é essa daqui? Nossa. Ai, meu Deus. Então, bate. Bate, quero ver se você vai bater. Eita, que travou.
Have you ever felt you were just going round in circles? Bernardo felt like that.
É meio estranha a movimentação, que porra é essa? Com delay.
Tried to focus on the now. The ravens who seemed everywhere all the time. Where did they hatch from? Were there giant raven hatcheries somewhere, or Did they have families? Ooh, he didn't want to think about raven mummies raising their darling raven chicks. Yeah, Calvaris would help. He would make Renato feel better about using the Sky Ripper. And then Renato wouldn't have to worry about ravens ever again. Renato's paws were getting numb. Calaveras really didn't want company, did he? Smashing things was fun. Hero wall, hero sword, ice wall, ice cube. The rebels were counting on Renato. He hoped Calaveras knew what he was doing.
Que estranho. Isso. Ah!
Calaveras had never let him down.
Yeah, of course I can make it work better.
But when Renato explained about the strings, Calaveras grew thoughtful.
Oh, strings, you say? Well, the Arcana do speak of the ties that bind the world.
He drew many intricate symbols in the dirt.
Yeah, so, according to my calculations, each time you fire, I'm afraid there's a 1 in 120 chance you'll destroy the universe.
That's pretty good odds. That's like rolling, what, 21 dice and they all come up 6. What are the odds of that?
What? No! It's more like 2.716 in a row.
Anyway, with those odds, it won't happen if I use it just once.
Yeah, no, that's not right. Each time you use it... Okay, look, just don't use it ever.
All right, I guess. As he sailed away from the mountains, Renato could see clouds darkening. Rain? No. Ships. Imperial ships, swarming thick as bees. This was it. The big battle. They could not afford to lose this one. What if it did not go well? What if he had to use the Sky Ripper? Could he gamble the universe? On the other hand,
What were the odds of rolling 21 sixes in a row?
Fazer o quê?
The battle was not going spectacularly well. What had the rebels been thinking? They'd been thinking he would bring the Sky Ripper, or the Iblis Stone, or that he'd sideline Zenobia somehow, or turn her. Couldn't he use the Sky Ripper just once? After all, if chances were 1 in 128, that meant he'd for sure be okay the first time. They'd get worse each time he used it, but the first time would be okay, right? He wasn't sure that it was right. So he didn't fire the Sky Ripper. He just brought it along, in case.
This is why heroes are called dashing, Renato thought. See? Dashing? Get it?
Made him shiver.
What were these poles exactly? Parking meters from the time of the lost gods? This thing really needed a roof.
Malzão.
Death to traitors! Caught the ravens.
Não!
find out how it ended.
Meu Deus.
Someone had told him the odds didn't change just because he'd had a streak of good luck. His gut told him that was wrong, though. And he always listened to his gut. On the other hand, 128 chances to win. But one of them would destroy the universe. That seemed a bit serious. Maybe he could defeat the Emperor without firing the Sky Ripper. Maybe he could bluff, but with a real weapon. Like in cards, when you had 3 knaves, but you pretended you had a fizz-bin. That could work. It was definitely easier to fight inanimate objects.
Não, filha da... Ah! Segurou, o cara... Ah, velho. Deixa eu sair! Meu Deus. Pode entrar. Deixa no chão pra não molhar a cama. Aí, tá bom. Quando sacar, bota lá em cima. Só esperar um pouquinho. A grade sai.
A very clever engineer named Elon Muskrat got his start making floating platforms. Not many.
Nada pra me segurar ali. Meu. Ah, eu faço isso por mim.
He set up the Sky Ripper and let it warm up. He would bluff if he had to. Zenobia came out, flanked by a very daunting platoon of ravens. You won't actually use that. she said in that annoying, I know everything because I'm a cat and you know nothing because you're just a fox voice she had. Or I know the odds. Good. Because there's a real chance you could destroy the universe. No, not the first time I use it. The odds are too low. What? No? Yeah, sure. The first time, the odds are practically nothing. They only go up if I use it a bunch more times. No, but that's not how odds work. Didn't you pay attention in class? Now surrender, or I'll use it. Just once, he said. Don't. He felt sure the odds were with him. You have to go with his gut. That's what heroes do. Fire, he said.
Mais fácil
Please? The
tirar um 6 jogando o dado
with a
6 vezes
tremendous
do que tirar um 6 jogando o
the
dado uma
Emperor's
vez só.
flagship went up in flames. It was awesome. Then he noticed there was a hole in the air. A blackness, like a tear in a parchment. Wind was blowing into it, widening it. It grew larger, and even larger. Crates fell upwards into it, and the world itself seemed bent, like the reflection on a curved mirror, as it poured into the ravenous hole. Ah, 1 in 128. What are the odds? Thought Fernando, and then everything fell into the hole and was gone. Okay, that was weird. He could have sworn he just died. Instead, he was on the Farfarer, sailing away from Ubar. And it was still burning. He'd fled burning Ubar years ago, hadn't he? And now he was back there. Had all those years fighting the Empire been nothing but a vision into the future? A useful vision if it was true. He'd learned something. The core was powerful, but dangerous if used improperly.
Pronto. Habilidade da fileira 2 bloqueadas. Aí. Então, quando vocês eram uma vez, vocês descobrem uma verdade. Isso tudo é visão do futuro, entendeu? Você só tá vendo uma coisa no futuro. Realmente não tá acontecendo de verdade. Pronto. Falta essa e essa e essa. Aí tem algumas histórias. História do 4.
He'd made bad choices. But now, when the real battle came, he wouldn't make those choices. He wouldn't make the same mistake twice. The book's pages began to flip backwards, towards the beginning. And he realized that his adventure was just beginning. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Bernardo knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong. But he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Emperor had brought the Sky Ripper pieces up out of ancient burial by his obscene rituals. Could this be where the Iblis stone was hidden? Someone better get it before he does, thought Renato. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Lapino was no game changer, but could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Pronto. Não. Não quero fazer os caras de novo, mas... Contra o tempo. Não, faça o do Lapino.
Apparently, the Mad Rabbit had sold a Pegasus that he did not exactly own. Lapino always wiggled out of trouble, given time. But he was out of time. The Ravens had figured out that Lapino was a rebel spy. If the fleet reached him first, they'd string him up for that. Never mind the winged horse.
Mano, o cara tem um Pegasus. Eu não lembro se dá pra usar o Pegasus.
Lapino had apparently managed to confuse the judge by arguing that he hadn't actually stolen the winged horse. He'd only sold it. But wait, where was the prison? The village was empty. Had everybody fled the ravens? I need more materials, thought Renato.
Ah, tá de novo? Nossa. Ai. Eu não peguei nenhuma joia ainda. Agora.
There was an inscription on the platform. Balaleka lessons, with an address.
Deixa ali com os fogos.
People were frightened these days. Just 2 weeks past, Renato had sneaked through an empty town and listened to the ravens caw about the Emperor's new taste in ritual sacrifice. Firewalls only let you through if they think you're hot enough. Oh, sweet! A gem. All he needed now was a workbench, and he could slot it into his gauntlet.
Revelada, duas verdades. Pra zerar o jogo tem que ter as 3 verdades no mínimo. Ligado? É isso. Sendo que são 4 verdades pra poder zerar o jogo.
Nice. That could be useful.
Não, peraí, que pega isso. Agora já era.
Who do I have to kill to get a drink around here? You? Okay. Ravens were landing everywhere. The advance guard. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lapino first, they'd eat him for breakfast. Or a snack. Ravens weren't picky. If they got hungry, they sometimes forgot to interrogate their prisoners. Even top spies like Lapino. Where had the mad rabbit got to? they didn't want their things broken, they really ought to make them stronger. Renato felt a chill run down his back. Or possibly a flea.
Olha isso. Eu nunca tive uma espada dessa. Ok. É bem pra cacete. Não.
Dirty and bloody, Renato finally reached Lapino. The rabbit was practicing his shuffle. Renato recognized the cards. It was Lapino's favorite deck. Oh, I thought you were in danger. I am. The ravens are coming. Oh, the prison thing. Right, yeah, see, this guard owed me 53 ducats, so we made a deal. They're very reasonable people, actually, for weasels. Now, I got a brilliant plan to kidnap Zenobia. We capture Zenobia, we find out what she knows, and that's the whole war right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Capture the Emperor's greatest general, who also happened to be a deadly sorcerer and his only daughter. That would be worth it. On the other hand, he could still get to the core of the Sky Ripper, even if he couldn't get the whole thing. It must have great power.
Não tem pra que Sky Ripper, vai. Olho do preço da pegando poder. Vai que eu uso isso sem nada e funciona. Tá, já volto. Acalmar a pessoa. Ai. Vou pegar um Gatorade, né? Top. Beleza. Então. O olho de Deus parece que deve ter grande poder. Sim. Então, eu não lembro dessa história. Da última vez que eu joguei só pra pegar os bagulho. Nem prestei atenção direito na história. Só aquela primeira ali. Eu lembro dos bagulhos, tipo Skyrim, Cenoura, esse bagulho. Mas não lembro certinho tudo. Então, beleza. A gente pode fazer o normal de Reinado e Lapino. Reinardo e Lapino de boa. Continuar a historinha deles que é capturar Cenoura, capturar continuar o plano. Ou a gente pode usar o Skyriper, só que o Skyriper vai estar sem armadura. Da primeira vez que a gente usou foi com armadura. E aí já é outra coisa, usar sem armadura. A última vez não deu certo com a armadura. Sem armadura pode ser que dê. Só que, pensando agora, vai estar com poder. A armadura provavelmente era pra parar o poder. Se tá sem armadura, vai descarregar todo o poder. Se descarregar todo o poder, pode ser que tenha mais chance do negócio do negócio que deu merda no universo lá. Deu merda de uma vez. Ou não.
Zenobia wasn't just the Emperor's daughter, of course. She'd been Renado's best friend in Swordfu school. And you're still mad for her, the rabbit reminded him. They'd been close. She'd told him things no one else knew. But she'd never told him who she really was. She knows all the Emperor's plans, chuckled the master spy. She won't give them up easily. She'll tell the interrogators, all right, said Lapino. Taking her would change the game, all right. The city was already under Zenobia's control. I had to admire her efficiency. Renato shivered at the thought of Zenobia at the mercy of the interrogators. Could he really turn her over to them? But this was war. It wasn't meant to be pretty.
Pra cá mesmo, você tem esse caminho.
He needed some way to break the ice with this wall, so to speak.
Deu nem uma opção pra fazer. Acho que eu tenho bastante pra fazer. meu dash depois.
Renato had a lot of crafting materials. Now all he needed was a crafting bench.
Tem esse bagulho aí, quer dizer que tem um caminho pelos lados. Aquele daqui é o...
So, what's this plan of yours? Use me as bait, said Lupino. And he outlined a slightly complicated plan that involved geese, a net, setting the Farfarer a little bit on fire, Lupino dressing as an old blind toad, and Renato hiding inside a monstrous watermelon. What could possibly go wrong? Thought Renato. Oh, this is gonna be fun, said Lupino, as he ran to go set up his marvelous plan.
Faz o menor sentido essa coisa. Mas eu vou. Eu acho que eu nunca zerei esse jogo.
Hey, a workbench! He could try out his new bling.
Eu vou. Mais miséria. Rapaz, faltam 4 bagulhos de jeito. Essa segunda. O que ela faz, né? O que ela faz, né? Congela inimigos, né?
It wasn't his fault. They looked so breakable.
Bagulho. Muita vida máxima. Ah, é aqui não tem um... Ah, não, aqui. Eu atravesso o cara e causo dano. É, pode ser. Isso aqui faria mais sentido se eu tivesse mais coisa.
Come in handy in a pinch.
Faria mais sentido se eu tivesse mais coisa, então me mover e tudo isso. Vou pegar alguns bagulhos, então. Então.
Sharp? Check. Pointy? Check. Flexible? Check. What else do you need in a sword?
Vamos pensar.
Renato felt dubious about the whole plan. With every step, he was waiting for it all to go horribly wrong. But against all odds, Peppino's idiotic plan worked. Zenobia's ravens ran off after the geese, the net dropped, and Renato jumped out of the watermelon and put his sword to Zenobia's throat. Renato, she said, are those new scars? They look good on you. You never returned my velvet jacket. It was my favorite. You look stupid in velvet. Oh, what does an imperial princess know about style? Oh, get a room, you two, said Latino. But the fleet was coming on fast. So they put Zenobia on the Farfarer and took her east, over the Nexus. She'd vanished from Swordfu School, from his life, without even saying goodbye. Without ever telling him she was the Emperor's adopted daughter. Lapina was right, Renato thought reluctantly. She knows things. She recognized his look. You're taking me to the interrogators, aren't you? She said, wide-eyed. And then she jumped, with horror. Renato saw Zenobia plummeting. Then he saw the Nexus below them. Cats always land at their feet. She'll head for the Imperial outpost, yelled Lapino. You have to catch her.
Meu Deus, meu Deus. Vou pegar ela como assim, cara? Ela se tacou.
Cats can run faster, but foxes can run longer. If he ran, he could head her off before she reached her minions at the outpost. Well, he did love a good chase. Renato wondered what would happen if he jumped. Would he be rescued by an emergency platform? Something useful in these things, didn't there? He felt like Tarzan.
Parecendo um bagulho dos cientistas, né? Vamos ver por aí. Não, pior que parece mesmo um bagulho dos cientistas. Essa escada parece mais ainda. Pedro?
Bruno?
Quer assistir o que eu tô jogando?
Ah?
Quer assistir o que eu tô jogando?
Você tá jogando o quê?
Só, é um joguinho indie, muito bom, mano. Quer assistir? É de graça, acho que dá pra você baixar, é 2 GB.
His sword food teacher used to say power gems were cheating. Stupid fart.
Catapinas.
Ler. Beleza. Na escola aprendemos o evangelho do imperador transcendente, a última divindade 3 passar os céus, ele expulsaria os deuses antigos malvados e nos concederia o dom do tempo. Mas será que um homem, por mais divino que seja, pode criar algo tão complexo quanto o tempo? Tem uma teoria. Acredito que o tempo é um sintoma e não um dom. Estou convencido de que em uma escala cósmica existe um movimento de pêndulo entre a ordem e o caos. O imperador transcendente acabou com o caos e começou a era em que vivemos. Uma era de causa e efeito, de fato e lógica. O tempo é meramente a trama sobre a qual as tragédias se manifestam. É a base da companhia, da ordem, a entropia. Mas na era do caos, quando os deuses antigos reinam, a percepção tem mais peso do que os factos. Beleza. As emoções conseguem mudar mundos e tempo para existir. E o tempo para de existir. Tá bom. A era da ordem está terminando, está simplesmente evitando o inevitável. A entropia foi quebrada, o destino foi violado, o final do tempo vem aí e eu devo abraçá-lo. Diário secreto do Imperador e Zengrin III. Beleza. Vamos ver esse cara. Tá bom. Tá, vai rápido. Quase. Aqui. Ok. Pronto. Lembra como. Cara, qualquer escala abriu. Meu Deus. Cara. Meu Deus.
Renata wondered what he could make with all this ore and essence. Oh, right. Probably a sword.
Não tem nada aqui. Mas tem uma plataforma aqui.
He was closing on her. He could smell her fear. He tried not to think about the interrogators at the secret base. What did they do to her? Maybe it didn't have to end that way. Maybe he could talk to her. But, after all, there were worse things the Imperials had done to friends of his.
People had laughed at the government workbench placement program, but you could see the benefits everywhere.
Não paletando, né? Existência de feitiço e... Nossa, beleza. O que precisa para uma espada? Aí eu posso... Tá no nível 1 também essa aqui, né? Também incender esses inimigos circundantes. Como é que eu já... Ah, tá. Não, só com esse. Ah, mano, carece muito lá agora, velho. Meu Deus. Tá bom. Como é que eu vou pegar uma porra ali, eu quero? Como é que eu vou pra lá? Eu quero ir pra lá. Meu amigo, eu quero ir pra lá. Mano, é um baú, velho. Ah, não. Que lugar é esse? Ah, tá. Sim. Meu Deus. Fugiu. Tô indo. Ah, é.
Bernardo reached the outpost.
Vai que lá ninguém entendeu. Vou ter que ir lá com Deve. Tá, ele tá tudo lá pra mim. Eu não sei.
The Imperials there were no match for him. Soon after,
Tô indo, mano.
Zenobia limped up the path. When she realized he was already in front of her, she didn't even try to run. Oh, you left without saying goodbye. Again, he said, please. I'm enjoying this a little too much.
Espera aí, já vou,
His
mas...
head shaken. Oh, spare us the chit-chat, would you? Said Lapido as he shackled her hands so she couldn't throw spells. She knows all his plans. All the way back to the farm. Lapino nagged Renato about how he interrogated him, pry all the intel out of Zenobia. How that would turn the tides in the imminent battle. All they had to do was take her to the rebels' secret base. Renato didn't like to think about what the interrogators would do to her. Couldn't he just talk to her? As they pulled away from the Nexus,
Beleza.
Renato could see the fear.
É isso aí. Depois, volta e... termina essa segunda verdade. Falou.